As most VCE students will know, your study score will either be scaled up, down, or stay the same. But why and how does this happen? Firstly, you need to understand what your study score means. It's not an actual score out of 50, but instead it's a ranking compared to everyone else who did the subject in that year. Your study score corresponds to a ranking percentile. A study score of 30 means you are ranked right in the middle of the cohort. In other words, you perform better than half of the students who did your subject. A study score of 40 means you perform better than 91% of the cohort. And all the scores in between also correlate to different percentiles. What makes this system unfair is that not all of the cohorts are equally difficult. So it might be a lot easier to rank right in the middle of an easier cohort than it would be to rank in the middle of a harder cohort. But both of these students are going to get a 30. So the study scores need to be adjusted to take into account how hard each cohort is. So people won't be disadvantaged for doing harder subjects. But how do you work out the difficulty of each cohort? I'll explain through an example. In 2011 chemistry, VTAC looked at all the students in the subject for that year and saw how each student did in all of their other subjects outside of chemistry. They saw that each of these students in the cohort averaged in their other subjects a study score of 34. Because the cohort's average as a cohort for their other subjects was 34, VTAC made the subject average for chemistry 34 instead of 30. The chemistry study score scale is adjusted so that the average moves from 30 up to 34. So a student who previously would have received a 30 because they were average will now get a 34, which takes into account the harder cohort they were average within. And all of the other grades also move up. Stop. A lot of you are probably thinking, why don't I just do a subject that has a higher markup? That way my 30 will become a 34 and my score will be higher. This logic is flawed because you are assuming in both subjects you will rank the same. But this won't happen. In the harder cohort you will rank lower, and in the easier cohort you will rank higher. Then the scaling will adjust to correct the imbalance caused by the different cohorts, and you'll get roughly the same mark. That is how the system is designed. So the key to doing well is just picking a subject you enjoy and are naturally good at. That will give you your best chance of achieving a higher study score. Check out our website over at engageeducation.org.au for more information about our VCE seminars, exam intensives, workbooks, and practice exams.